my name is Eric, and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. Today I'm here at Champion Creek in the heart of Medina, kind of a damp, slightly cool, low 50s May morning. Figured I'd get some of these out. Got some housework I got to do later on, so I'm out in the morning, do the housework when I get home. All right, today's camera is a Nikon N2000. This is also has the standard 50mm 1.8 lens. AIS, I think is the variant, AIS variant, okay? And the way you can tell the difference between an AI, non-AI, AIS, which is the three variations of manual focus Nikon lenses. The old non-AI lenses, which are designed for the original F, the FT, the FTN, even the F2, an F2, and I think there's an F2N. They have what I will call rabbit ears. It's basically right above the aperture. There's a little silver prong that comes up and grabs the meter coupling on the top of the camera. Those were like 1960s, 1970s cameras. Now, when the FGs and FMs and some of the other cameras came out, now the meter coupling is a ring around the lens mount, and you can kind of see that move right there. And that's when the AI lenses came in. And the AI lenses have a little edge, a little lip on the back side of the lens, which grabs the meter coupling. AIS lenses is a variant of an AI lens and can also use the coupler on the lens mount. Now, most cases I can't take a non-AI lens and put it on an AI body because that tab gets in the way. Now there's a few of them, and I think the FM2 and maybe the FE2, that tab can lift up and move out of the way, so you can use the older non-AI lenses. So check which variation of body you're using versus what lens you're using, just for compatible. You don't want to buy the wrong lens, at a flea market, whatever, and realize it doesn't fit your camera body. But this is a Nikon N2000, came out in 1985. This is their first camera that had built-in DX coding and a built-in motor drive. Nikon 2000s typically used a AAA carriage to fit in the bottom. I'm actually using Nikon's AA adapter, so I've got 4 AA batteries in here instead of 4 AAAs. If you go hunting for an N2000, I think they're actually pretty cool cameras. Just be aware that those that had the AAAs tended to leak a lot. So the carriage of the AAAs had some battery corrosion. If it's not too bad, you can use either vinegar on a Q-tip or maybe photographic stop bath on a Q-tip, clean that up, and you might recover that carriage. But if not, there is a AA option, or you can 3D print kind of someday some variation of a AA option. A friend of mine did that for me. I've got a couple of them, so if I ever come across one that doesn't have the bottom or whatever, I've got a way to use it. All right, today's film, some slide film. I've had mixed luck with slide film. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. It's been misload on my part. It was a cross process by the lab I sent it out to. Bad exposures just because it's expired stuff. So, learning experience, nothing terrible. Just it's like, oops, yeah, that was my fault. All right, today's film is some Fuji Sensia. All right, so this is, what is my expiration date? 2010. So 16 years old. Now, I was informed by the guy that gave this to me, he gave me a couple other rolls, that this was in the freezer for a better part of 10 of those 16 years, and the refrigerator for another couple more years. He took them out about a year and a half, 2 years ago, because they moved. So this roll has been frozen or cold most of that time. So I'm going to shoot it at the rated 100 speed. No adjustments for out-of-date film. The other thing is slide film doesn't like, being out of date. You can get color shifts. You can get, especially with some Konica stuff, some weird color shifting on their film when it goes too far out of date. Slide film does not have exposure latitude like print film does, so I'm going to shoot this one at rated, see what I get. All right, I'm going to load it up. Just going to stick it in this side right here. I'm going to put my little tab down. I'm just going to stick it on this side. Now the auto loader on this spring pushes it down. Once I close it, it will sit there, and I'm going to push the shutter button. Advance 3 times. You saw the rewind crank counter spin. Then I've got to set it for 100. I've actually currently have it set for 200, so let me go to 100. There we go. We are now all set. All right, let me go see what I can get. Be right back. So because it rained pretty heavy last night, Champion Creek's moving pretty fast. I'm doing some shots at a fast shutter speed, but I'm also going to try to drag my shutter speed a little bit to show motion. So I hopefully will have a couple of different photos, as long as these come out, of maybe frozen water hitting rocks or hitting the current type points. And then maybe some where I'll see some more flow type stuff. I won't know until I get the film back, but hopefully that's what I get. All right, let me head that way. Be right back. So Fujifilm typically loves green. It's a little bit more greener versus maybe a little bit more of a warm green that Kodak tends to do, and a little bit more pale of a green that maybe Konica or Agfa used to do. So hopefully, because this is some Konica film, or not Konica film, some Fuji film, this greenery right here will be a little bit more accented, even more than what it kind of is, because it's kind of damp, it's kind of wet. I could have accented it maybe even more on top of that with a polarizing filter, but because of the overcast day, I'm already shooting kind of pretty fast, like a f4 and f2.8 with slower speed film. That if I polarize, I'd be shooting most of it at 1.8. I have actually no depth whatsoever, which is not a problem. I know how to shoot that. But if I wanted to try to get some depth, I'd have to brace myself like I did on the bridge railing, just so I can get some of that motion. I didn't bring a second tripod, so I'm going to try to keep it fast so I can handhold most of it. All right, I am on shot 13. This is a roll of 24. Typically slides are in 36, but because this is 15-year-old film, they did have 24 exposure slide film back in the day. All right, let me go that way. Be right back. All right, so when you ever shoot near railroad tracks, you can see I got some railroad tracks right there. Don't go on them because you don't know if they're live tracks or not. Some people like to do their senior photos. Some people like to do bridal shots. Too many stories that I've heard of people having to scramble, get out of the way, and equipment gets damaged, or people get hurt because they weren't fast enough. So only go on tracks if you know they've been disconnected from any line. And there's some places that do that, maybe some train yards and stuff like that, that maybe you could use. But don't go on live tracks. I know these are live tracks. I'm not going to go on them. I'm going to get a little closer. There's a little hill here, and I'm going to get a nice perspective shot, but I'm not going to go any, I'm going to be at least 20 feet away from those tracks. All right, be right back. All right, that was my last shot. My little red light indicator is telling me so. So with normal film cameras, I might step out of camera for a second, but normal film cameras, you'd have a release button on the bottom of the camera. Nikon N2000s are a little different. They actually have a release button on the top of the camera. So I'm going to push the release button, and then I'm going to push the release button lock so it stays down. Where on the bottom, I usually tell people hold it in just in case. So this one right here is currently locked down. As many rewinds as many winds that you're going to have. So this is a roll of 24. So it'll take me about 24 rewinds. And about right, whoops, slipped out of my hands. Right there, to let go. All right, today we were at Champion Creek, heart of Medina. Today's camera was the Nikon N2000 with the standard 50mm 1.8, circa 1985. If you find a good copy, they're good little solid cameras. Just beware that AAA batteries, which is the norm for this camera, can cause some corrosion, and vinegar or stop bath, photographic stop bath is about 45% vinegar, can help you clean that up. Today's film was some Fuji Sensia, out of date since 2010. Slide film. Now, I was told that it was frozen, then refrigerated. It may be out of the refrigerator for the past year and a half, so I'm shooting this one as normal. So hopefully I get results. Give them a thumbs up if I do. Feel free to comment on your experience with Fuji slide film, either expired stuff or, at least in our area, the new stuff's hard to come by. And when it does, it doesn't last. I mean, our shop will get, 40 rolls at a time, and within a week those 40 rolls are gone, just because it's that that much slide films in demand, especially from Fuji. Well, you can also tell me how you did with maybe some Kodak slide film or some of the other slide films that were out there. I did shoot some Agfa slide film. Mixed results for me, but that's okay. All right, feel free to subscribe as new episodes try to come out every Friday and every Saturday. I have started to convert some of my early episodes into 30 to 45 second shorts. You don't have to listen to me talk about the stuff in the middle. I say camera, I say lens, I say film, you see results. So now you don't have to sit there and watch a 8-minute episode. You can watch a 35 to 45 second episode. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next episode.